All right, everyone, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And just have both of your feet flat on the floor. Just feeling the sensations of the feet. The weight of your feet on the floor, the weight of your sits bones in your chair. So some of you may be in a cross-legged position. So you might feel the weight of your legs on your feet. And align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just imagine you're lengthening your spine. Some space in between the vertebrae. And then just go to the top of the head and just release any tension in your scalp. And then the forehead, and then the eyes, and the back of the eyes, and the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, back of the tongue, the jaw, your temples, the back of the head at the occipital bone. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to just sort of relax and drop down. And relax your throat, and your chest and your belly, and all of your limbs. You'll notice the sensations of the breath as you inhale and exhale. And be aware of sound in your environment, just allowing the sounds to be there. Trying not to follow with the mind. Trying not to investigate. And then be aware of thoughts that might be arising this evening. Try and put some space in between the thoughts. So if you've got an issue going on in your life right now and you're thinking about it a lot, just maybe try and put some space between everything. And then think about all these people in our life, our loved ones, our strangers, and then ones we don't like about much, ones we have aversion for. And think that, due to impermanence, these relationships can change. And they're all equal. Excuse me, they're just like you and me in that they want to be happy and they don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we'll think, we'll do this meditation this evening for all the people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And let's just have a thought for Lou, who's not very well right now, and now feeling a little, for him not to come is somewhat unusual. So he must be feeling really quite tired. Just keep him in your mind, your heart, those of you who know him. And think, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Lama Yeshe would say, there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So you can think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. When we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. So we're not looking for this higher power to come along and forgive us and take all the stuff away. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. And we're doing it ourselves. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face, and his eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet mouth, red, and his hair is black and held up in a top knot, and his arms are crossed at his heart, and the left is underneath the right. The left holds a bell, and this represents wisdom, and the right holds a vajra, and this represents the indestructibility of compassion. And when they're crossed like that, it represents enlightenment, infinite wisdom, infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, this is under that heading, refuge, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us. So think about the ones you've harmed and have a wish for them to be free from suffering. Think about the ones who've harmed you. Have a wish for them to be free from suffering. Because the suffering that you've caused them is going to kind of bounce back. So then we come to the power of remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mebi yata sawa kama sitame, sitam triam kur hum ha ha ho baguan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita. Drita meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita. Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita. Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita. Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita. Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita. Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame, sitam triyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. And imagine there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. The next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of our speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita. Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita. Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita. Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita. Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Satukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So imagine your speech now is completely purified and it's not possible to harm anyone with your speech, including yourself, including anything you put up on social media or emails or texts. And then the mind. So Vajrasattva very compassionately now sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it happens instantaneously. The light comes from Vajrasattva's heart, hits your heart chakra, and then as quickly as when you turn on the light in a dark room, the light dispels all the negativity and the darkness of the mind. So your attachment and neediness and depression and bitterness and jealousy and anger, fear, anxiety, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, be delighted at all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. So the nectar flows down, pushing out all the negativity of the body. And then the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech. And then the light comes and blasts all the delusions. So imagine that this happens all at the same time. And then it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mebe Yatsa sawa kama sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Karuhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Karuhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Karuhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Karuhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Karuhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Karuhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And then resolve. So this is the fourth step in the purification process. And we make a decision here to refrain from harming. Because nothing's going to change unless we decide it will. We've got to want to do this. So rejoice in your efforts for coming along tonight, and then maybe think about something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. It could be your speech. Maybe you have a particular habit, accidentally swatting flies, mosquitoes, whatever. Ants. Whatever it is might be harmful to others and to yourself. So think about just maybe not doing that for a little bit. And you can set a reminder on your phone or something. Just sort of think about it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. That's just enough. But if you do it continuously every day, it's part of your practice, then that becomes a habit, and it's quite a good habit to have. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So we can dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. Okay, so now we're doing our chanting the names of Manjushri for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. If you could make that a little larger, that would be, Bill, that would be great. We can increase the, there we go, that's a little better. Thank you. Destroying the massive mountain of becoming, unyielding, holding strong, a massive Vajra. Great terrifying Lord, great cruel one, provoking fear in great and daunting creatures. Protector as the greatest of all Vidyas, a guru as the greatest of all mantras, traversing well the Mahayana's path, himself the Mahayana foremost way. Chapter 6, the wisdom of the immaculate Dhammadhatu. He is Mahavarachana, the Buddha, great sage, observing great intensive silence, arising from the great mantra way. He is at heart the great mantra way. All right, everyone, let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, and for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and then for all of your own individual teachers to live long, happy, healthy lives. All right, everyone. Good night. I will see some of you tomorrow morning. Okay, thank you.